From the News Talk STL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. Tonight, Trump attorney Peter Ticktin on the Tina Peters case, Naresh Vissa on the New American Civil War, and the Right Mind studio band, Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now, putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Showalter.
Boy, you're not going to believe what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a guru. A guru. You want to be a guru with me?
When the Beatles did drugs and made better music?
No. I'm going to be like a guru. This is like the new hot thing. Our buddy Pat Hilton, I think he was going to be a guru, or he was working on being a guru. But apparently, I am now going to be a guru, and ask me why.
Why would you want to do that?
Don't even ask me. I'm just going to tell you. Okay, along with all these medical issues, I'm not allowed to run. Okay, and so I'm walking a lot, and so I'm listening to these audiobooks, and everything I hear about now, especially from my wife and other women and members of the Hallmark clan.
Your harem. Now that you're a guru.
Well, not necessarily my harem, but this Mel Robbins woman. She's the new hot guru. Mel Robbins, okay? And so I felt, what's so big about Mel Robbins? And so I look her up, and she's, most of these people have, a troubled path that they've overcome, and, now they're reinvented, and, they got a little bit of a backstory, and I have a little bit of a backstory. And so anyway, so I said, I have got to hear or at least learn more about this Mel Robbins. And so this woman, she has this book out, and she has this whole thing called Let Them. Okay, so I felt intrigued because what is this that has all these women so just up in arms? Not up in arms, they're just excited about it. So guess what I did, my friend? I got her audiobook, Let Them, and I listened. I did for the first 2 chapters. That's as far as I could get. And you're not going to believe it. It's all about, here it is. She sees on social media, okay, that some of her friends went out to a party. No, it was like a trip, a getaway, a girl's getaway, almost Hallmarky. But they didn't invite her. And so she saw this on Facebook or some social media. And she decided that rather than get all upset and worked up about it, she just thought, well, I'm just going to say, let them. Just let them. And so her big thing is, whenever anything bad happens to her, or she's conflicted, now she just says, let them. And so all these people just jumped on this bandwagon. People have gotten tattoos. People have bought the book. It's like a bestseller. And I thought this is the perfect sign for me and you, of course, to become a guru. But get this, it gets better. I think you have to have a catchphrase. So on the way over here, in 2 seconds, I came up with our catchphrase that's going to make you and I gurus. And you know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
So what? No, better. I came up with the new one just as I was sitting here. Who cares? Okay, so every time something happens that, I think you ran over my dog. Who cares? Joey, I think I'm going to be late for the show today. Who cares? So every time something has you conflicted, just say, who cares? We'll write a book about it, become real famous, and be gurus and be millionaires. What do you think?
And I can't wait to do the book because I love this pose where it looks like you're being fed by a mama bird.
Oh,
where you're just looking up in the air to nothingness and your mouth is open.
That is her.
And you're just waiting for inspiration to crap on your face.
And that's the perfect description of this photo that you're showing me. And let me, okay, because she's inspired me. She's inspired me not by let them, because, wow, we have who cares, which I think is a much better slogan. But the fact that she was able to take 2 simple words that everybody and their mother knows about and just milk it and have books and seminars and audio books and all this other stuff, and people getting tattoos with let them. Can you wait? Just wait. They're going to have who cares. I bet you by a month from now, Larry Connors, Joe, and Jeff are all from nipple to nipple going to have who cares tattooed on their chest because you and I are now gurus.
And there's no way she could have made this success story happen without her husband. You think,
never.
What a strong, independent woman. Well, you know what her name was before she got married?
No.
Schneeberger.
Schneeberger?
Mel Schneeberger.
Mel Schneeberger.
And you know who she married? Winnie the Pooh's best friend.
I'll be gosh darn.
Christopher Robbins.
Christopher Robbins.
Oh, bother. Think. Oh, dear.
I wonder if she has a chapter in there about Eeyore. Maybe Eeyore has some terrible crisis, and then she can just say, let them, and Eeyore will be all happy again. Thanks for noticing me. Let them.
Gonna go kill myself with this balloon.
Let them, Eeyore. Just let them. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mel. I feel all better now. And was that John Wayne or was that Eeyore?
That's both, yeah.
I don't know. It was John Wayne doing Eeyore. But can you believe that? I'm just giddy with excitement because I didn't know that I could be a guru. And as my bestest buddy, you got to join me, okay? So you and I, they don't have tag team gurus, okay? So here's what we'll say. I'll say who, and then you say cares, okay? Who?
Cares.
That's it. We're famous. I see. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. So that's my story. What do you got going on?
Yeah, you can't even sell a self-help book unless you've got the little catchphrases that go with it. You know, my girlfriend's cousin, she became a self-help guru.
She did.
And she invented this term called the gut brain.
What?
And it's really just if you have diarrhea because you're scared, that's your gut brain telling you should get out of there.
Is she a guru?
So we could probably steal that, but we'll call it the butt brain.
Well, she could be the poo-poo guru.
Has
she thought about that? The poo-poo guru?
All of these gurus just steal the best parts from other gurus.
Right.
And they build their own plan and they give it some name. The one that really caught my eye about Mel Robbins is the 5-second rule, which is all about eating food where you can find it, I think.
Oh,
and that's what we're into. Us, special ed, Juice, we're all about that eating food off the floor thing.
That is another one of her things, the 5-second rule. I saw that, and you're right. I guess that's all. You're right because you drop stuff on the floor, and that's I don't have the 5-second rule. I have the 5-day rule. I mean, if I drop something on the floor 5 days, if it's a Thursday, but Tuesday it's still there, I'm eating it.
Oh, it looks like the blurb was. I read it. The blurb is more about don't hesitate, just think. It sounds like another way of saying this one catchphrase that entrepreneurs like to say: ready, fire, aim.
Oh,
that's another one where you say, just pull the trigger and see how many people get murdered and then fix it later.
I think you're right. And that leads, you know what I just noticed? The shirt that you're wearing right now. That's one of our slogans. What do you go ahead, say the shirt that you're wearing.
I'm wearing my favorite Todd Showalter shirt. I was actually at Walmart this morning buying toothpaste, and one of the employees said, I love that shirt.
Did he really?
A large, rotund black woman did say, I love that shirt.
I'm big with those people.
And it says, stay weird. I think that should be our 2-word thing.
Stay weird. That's even better
dog
than who
gets
cares.
run over in the street, and you say, stay weird, little dog.
I love it. Okay, so now we've got so what, who cares, and stay weird. We could have a whole trifecta of books. We could go on tours. We could be on Oprah. No, I don't want to do her show. We could be huge. I'm just telling you. We are wasting ourselves here. I think maybe it's time for us to go out on the road.
You know how this woman, Mel Robbins, got famous? She made a speech at a TED Talk.
TED Talk.
You know, we need to start doing Todd Talks.
Todd Talks. This is getting better by the minute. Maybe our buddy Pat Hilton would enjoy. Remember he came on? Mm-hmm. Okay, and what did I say to him? I said, hey, Pat, it sounds like you're about ready to write a book. You know what he did? I don't know if it was ChatGPT or what, but like a week later, he had a book.
He actually takes all of the interviews that he does, like with us, and he transcribes it with ChatGPT, and then he has that turned into a book. So it's basically all his own thoughts, but put in a coherent way. And that is exciting, though. It's easy to just print some AI slop and make people buy it.
And that's all that counts. All you got to do. And if you're smart, they'll even tattoo it on their nipples.
It looks like Mel Robbins' little TED Talk that she did is very famous because of its provocative title.
What was it?
It was How to Stop Screwing Yourself Over. I think we take the other way and how to keep screwing yourself.
I like that.
How to give yourself pleasure over and over.
How to pleasure yourself over and over again.
Stay weird. Do it on the subway.
That's what we say. If we're pleasuring ourselves over and over and somebody says, what are you doing? We say, read the shirt. Stay weird.
Living my best life. Who cares if other people can see you and you get arrested?
Oh, boy, I tell you, 2 chapters of that, and I was like, I just had to run home. And I'm not supposed to run with the eye, but I thought this is just too good.
With audiobooks, do you kick up the speed a bit so you can get through it faster?
I love that because they have different speeds. Okay, you can do regular, 1.5, or you could do like when you play like a 45 record. Remember those at the wrong speed? And so it's like an auction. So I'm listening to Mel Robbins Robbins talk at like an auctioneer, and all I keep hearing is let them, let them, let them, let them, and it was just over and over and over again. And I thought I got to get home and start my own movement. Speaking of movements, the sheriff's in jail. Did you hear about this? We got this. What's it got? Montgomery.
Alfred Montgomery. I do declare, I keep this bullet in my pocket.
He said, "We got our."
It's a regular Andy Griffith situation.
I tell you. Well, for those people, those listeners that we love dearly that are out of town, here in St. Louis, the Big Lou, it's the place for the arts, and everybody shoots each other. Our sheriff is in jail. What I was going to try to get some info on this.
I know a little bit, yeah.
Well, why don't you just jump in here, because I don't know everything. All I know is he's locked up like Barney Fife threw him in the clink, and I don't know all the details. Now, I know he's got felonies and all kinds of stuff attached to him, but hey, who in St. Louis City Hall doesn't? What happened to the guy?
The guy is a chronic marijuana smoker.
Whoa, man.
And so he's just not as chill as you would think he should be. No. And he's always wearing his Mountie outfit where he looks like he's Dudley Do-Right.
That's right.
And he's making people play dice for their jobs. And when he gets in trouble, he buys burner phones and threatens some of the witnesses that are going to testify against him. And now I think he's locked himself in the jail. I don't know if he misplaced the keys, but he's been plumb arrested.
So you're the sheriff. Would you have like a split personality? Because we can help with that if he does, because we're gurus now. And so you say, well, I've been doing this and this. That's illegal. I got to throw myself in the jail. So you think he actually arrested himself, or did somebody else arrest him and throw him in jail?
He listened to the Mel Robbins book, and he said, I am out of control. I am a 27-year-old black man, the youngest ever sheriff in America. And you know what? I'm going to go put myself in jail. Think about what I did.
No, I think with what happened, I think Kara, messy hair
Kara
mayor,
Spencer,
who won't
mayor.
come on the show, I think she went up to him and said, they're going to throw you in jail. And he says, well, let them. And the next thing you know, he's in the clink. That's what's going on here. Yeah, here in St. Louis. I kind of lost track of a lot of the news, but, it's all unhappiness. I mean, everybody's mad and everything. And I told you when I walked in here about my cartoons, how, everybody's sending me these hate messages because they get all angry about, if you make fun of anything regarding the Epstein list. I'm just trying to add some what's the word? Frivolity, or just add some. Is that even a word? I'm just trying to lighten the mood and make jokes about stuff that's out there. But you would not believe. So I've been called an F face. I've been called all kinds of stuff.
Fart face.
Yeah, that and along with other things. So what I decided to do? I said I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a break from the news. I'm going to take a break from social media. I'm just going to go chill, and I'm going to listen to Mel. Yeah, that's what I did. And next thing you know, I don't know anything that's going on in the world. I don't know anything about sports anymore, because I don't care weather. We don't talk about that, but it's not rained and it is 90 degrees. But I listened to Mel Robbins and learned that I could be, that's the one thing she taught me. I didn't learn anything, but I could be famous and rich just like her. But I'm out of the news cycle is where I'm going with this. I don't know what in the heck is going on in the world. Are we going to hell in a handbasket, or what's the deal here?
Well, first I want to explain to everyone that you weren't making fun of the Epstein list. You were doing a little juxtaposition where Trump was bringing home the hostages from Hamas, something people weren't giving him credit for, but the left still wanted to do the whataboutism. Instead of congratulating Trump, they said, what about the Epstein list? Well, it's a different topic. We'll get to that. Obviously, everyone wants that out, especially because we're not on it.
Well, no, that's just it. I get that. They said, well, you must be on it. No, I was not making fun of
You're
the
just
Epstein.
provocative to get people thinking. I like that.
I was just trying to lighten them. My point is, anytime you say anything, the guy, Donald Trump, he could seriously save a cat out of a tree, whatever. Anything the guy does that tries to be even halfway beneficial, they got to come back and go, what about the Epstein list? It's always what about the Epstein list? And if he had been on the Epstein list, I think Bumbling Joe would have let that out years ago when he was in office. So I don't really care about that stuff. But the whole joke was, okay, he's done this stuff in the Middle East. He's trying to bring world peace, all this other stuff, save the cities. But all they bring up is, what about the Epstein list? So I did a cartoon about that. And I just got a lot of hate, which I get every single day. But I finally decided, no, I'm just going to learn how to be a guru today instead. And so that's why I don't know anything that's going on in the news.
And you've got a doctor's note saying that you've never been to Epstein Island because you literally cannot fly. You've got a little green bracelet that says your eyeball will explode if you ever get on a plane.
And that's just it. I can't fly in an airplane still until probably February. Otherwise, my eyeball will shoot out of its socket and blow up all over somebody sitting next to me in the aisle seat.
So weird.
Oh,
the way your
wow, man.
eyeball just popped out.
Just
Stay
popped
weird.
out, man. Would you like some snacks? Whoa, your eyeball just blew out on the side of his head. Yeah, so I can't fly. I can't fly.
When Sheriff Montgomery was listening to Mel Robbins, all he did was read her name, and he's like, oh, yeah, Robin, that sounds good. Maybe I'll buy myself a nice Escalade and call it a police vehicle. He was in trouble for having too luxurious of a cop car also.
Well, isn't that just typical with City Hall? I mean, you had Tijuana. I mean, you had all this other stuff going on. And it just seems like a lot of people that go into City Hall, like suddenly are, I think government in general, you go in as like a little politician, you come out like a billionaire.
Tijuana was taking fact-finding missions to Italy. It's like, oh, I got to see how Venice is. They care about St. Louis.
I just don't see that. And then they're complaining about, well, we can't fill the potholes because, Tijuana's in Florence. Florence what? Florence? Oh, yeah, it just doesn't make much sense. You know what else doesn't make sense? Here's the thing. We've got this thing. My wife and I, when we watch these shows together, like, we have our story time, it's kind of our thing. I mean, some people, they get hot and passionate. We watch story time. And so we're watching different shows, but she was out last night, and she said, make sure you don't keep watching the same story because I don't want to miss anything. So I decided to watch something all on my own. And I chose that OJ thing. Now, I know everything there is about OJ because the whole dang thing happened right after we got married. I watched the Bronco chase during our first anniversary. A long, long story. So I said, I don't want to watch any more OJ, but I will watch it just because she's not here, and then she won't get mad at me for watching our regular show. The whole point of this wild, rambling, nonsense story is that based on this show and the stuff that comes out, there is no way in heck that he was not guilty. I mean, this guy was guilty as sin. They have all these witnesses that said they weren't allowed to be in the trial, and there's evidence that wasn't allowed in. I mean, if you watch this show, this guy, I know, not Elvis, OJ, same thing, maybe not. He was guilty, buddy. He was just totally guilty. This is a little bit before your time. But, I mean, do you remember any of this OJ crap that was going on back in the early 90s?
I remember he was very guilty of ruining my Friday night because I was watching TGIF. Oh. That is the kids' family block of shows that was on ABC. And I was right deep into some Urkel with Family Matters.
Oh, Urkel,
and some Corey Matthews with Boy Meets World. And they said, no, we're going to show you this little Bronco chase for a little bit.
Non-stop.
I was so upset that night.
Right. And you were a little kid. Well, I
said lock him up. I don't even care.
You didn't care because you couldn't watch Urkel. It was my first
wedding.
Did
he do that?
Yes. He did. If you watch this show, it was my first wedding anniversary. The only first I have. Only been married once, And so I'm excited. Oh, wow. We went back to the place where we spent our wedding night. I'm getting all excited. Wow, it's going to be just like our wedding night. I don't think we've done it since our wedding night. And so anyway, no, I'm kidding. Well, maybe. And so anyway, I'm all excited, right? The Cheshire Inn. And so we're watching, and I can't wait the Jungle Room because, you got to be passionate in the moment. And what happens on my 1-year anniversary, I'm all getting ready and hot and bothered. Here's OJ going down the freeway, I guess the 405 in L.A., in his white Bronco. We had to drop everything and watch this thing all during my first anniversary.
Had to pull our pants up and drop everything.
That's exactly what I did. Well, we got a big show. Because now we are gurus. In the meantime, I am Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, Trump attorney Peter Ticktin. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who will dress up like a sexy lawyer for his wife whenever she's feeling pro bono. Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. And now another friend of mine that's always a pleasure to have on the show. He's Donald Trump's boyhood friend and attorney, Peter Ticktin. Peter, how are you? And what's going on with all the stuff going on in your world, the January 6th and everything else?
We met when we were 15, when we were boys, but we were treated like men. We were in a military academy.
Okay.
And we were very close in our senior year when we were 17 years old together.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Yeah, because I still associate it as being a boy. And so anyway, I'm never really grown up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we were boys. But,
right.
But, when you're in the ranks of a military, or a military school where you live together. It's a 24-hour-a-day thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And they call it okay men. It's not okay boys. It's okay men.
Sure, yeah. And that's where you met him, and just kind of led from there, correct? And so it's led to where you are right now, right? I mean, as far as some of the things you're working on.
Yeah. Well, in our senior year, he was my captain of Company A, and he appointed me as the platoon sergeant of the first platoon. So I ended up basically running the company for him.
Okay.
I joke and say I ran his first company for him, Company A.
Right.
But that brought us that we worked closely that year.
Sure.
And we we worked well and liked each other. I mean, he Donald Trump. Geez, I mean, there were other captains, who could use corporal punishment. They if they were upset with somebody, they'd smack them or punch them or sometimes have them stand at attention and then knee them in the who knows what.
Sure, yeah.
And they got away with. I mean, that you can get away with all that when you're a captain.
Yeah.
Where Donald Trump, he was a captain, but he never ever would do that to anybody. He was a good guy. He really was a good person who cared about people.
You as his friend, what do you think of all these things, people, these jabs and these terrible things people that the left is throwing at him?
Well, I know that he understands what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the world is at war. We're at war.
Right.
The United States is at war in terms of itself and in terms of the outside world. There's really no place left. I mean, yeah, sure, there's Costa Rica and the Dominican Republic and there's Hungary. But, for the most part, the freedom of speech, the freedoms that we have here are gone throughout the rest of the world. Even Canada, there are people in prison because of things that they say or said.
Right.
So, we still have the freedom of speech here, but these people, the globalists, want to take over and destroy everything that we've got.
Right.
And, because that's their agenda.
And that's a real thing, by the way. I mean, I talk to people and say, oh, no, that's blown out of proportion. That's not really real. But it is real, isn't it, Peter? I mean, the globalists, it's not like a made-up fictional group. I mean, they're a group of people that really, you can throw Soros in the mix and some other people, I mean, that really don't like the way America is and everything it stands for, and they want to destroy us.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And so let's take a look. Like, what is this? How big is this animal? This conspiracy? Are there groups of people or is it a big thing? I talk to people every time I make a speech. I ask, how many people here think the 2020 election was a fair election?
Mm-hmm.
And I never get a hand. Not one hand.
Yeah.
And I ask how many people here think that it was fixed and stolen, and everyone puts their hands up. Everyone.
Sure.
And I'm talking about 400 people, 300 people, 350 people, and this is what happens every single time I'm addressing a crowd. Now, mind you, I'm not talking to lefties, and I'm talking to people that kind of understand more of what's going on, people that are in the base,
right,
or Donald Trump's base.
Sure.
And then I asked them, I said, well, if it was fixed, we know it wasn't fixed by Joe Biden because he couldn't fix a flat tire.
Right. Yeah. And that's
an election.
Right.
So who fixed it? And what it really comes down to are all these elements that come together involving foreign countries. And it involves the World Economic Forum, which now we like to call WEF, World Economic Forum, but we call it WEFROC because, Larry Fink is the guy who is the CEO of BlackRock, and he's also now taken over from Klaus Schwab and is the head of the World Economic Forum.
Right, yeah.
And we know what their goals are, which are kind of horrific. and they need to accomplish certain things. They to them, the global warming crisis is coming upon us, and it's going to be irreversible after 2030.
Right. That's always been said.
So,
yeah.
well, it's not only said. I mean, these people will do anything and everything they feel are necessary, including assassinate the president or whatever is required.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And I think that there are a lot of them. I mean, you have all this division here in our country. I mean, it's like a civil war at this point. And I think they're behind it. I think they love splitting everybody up because you divide and conquer, and that's how you destroy America from within. I don't really think I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was a long game with a big agenda that was put in place by these globalists that now you see everybody fighting each other, and that's exactly what they want.
That's what they want. They want to take over again.
Yeah.
And what they were doing to this country was just horrific. I mean, when did it ever become a good idea just to open up the borders and let everybody march in?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
These ideas are terrible ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they do. Look at the ordinance. Look at the governance we have now under Donald Trump.
Right.
I mean, you realize we had a balanced budget this year.
I know, and you have people that are just screaming about bringing up crazy things as distractions. But the guy is doing everything he can. I mean, even in the span of half a term, I mean, he has done more than well, I don't think Joe Biden did anything, but I mean, the guy is on hyperspeed with all the things that he's producing here.
Don't kid yourself. Joe Biden accomplished an awful lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, right, but I mean,
the weaponization that has occurred,
right? Yeah,
is phenomenal.
Oh,
and
sure.
Nobody knows about it. Maybe you heard about some rich guy in your neck of the woods that got charged, and you just figured the guy was guilty.
Right.
No, they've gone after in terms of weaponization. They've gone after. Well, we know they went after Trump. We know that they went after people around him, like Peter Navarro or Michael Flynn, or numerous other people.
Sure.
But most people don't realize that they had other directives. They went after people involved in cyber currency. They would get them debanked.
Right.
All they had to do as a DOJ is tell the Bank of America, this is a bad guy. And the next thing he knew, without knowing why, all of his bank accounts were being closed.
I knew someone personally that happened to. Yeah,
right.
You're right. That's a very good point. People think, no, it's only the top people and things like that. No, there's a trickle-down effect. I mean, they went after conservatives. I mean, you got Josh Hawley that came out, he's a Missouri senator, talking about how his phones were bugged. This is more than just America. I mean, we're looking at generations, down the road that are all counting on what's happening right now. And, I mean, having you on the inside and know exactly what's going on just gives validity to a lot of things. People I talk to that just say, no, that's blown out of proportion. I actually think, Peter, it's bigger than some of the things people think. And that frightens me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, imagine, you think you got your life made, right?
Yeah.
Everything you do by the book. Everything you do straight, right?
Yeah.
And you're not, but you made a good business for yourself. You got, let's say, $115 million in the bank.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they come into your life. They freeze all your assets. They seize all of your money out of the bank. You've got no more money.
Right.
I'll give you an exact case. I'm not just making this up.
Sure.
To the point where you can't even afford to hire a lawyer.
Oh, no, yeah.
And then what do? You end up, they tell you either plead guilty to this misdemeanor that it's going to give you 5 years in prison, or and agree that you donate, X number of $50 million or whatever, or we're also going to charge your wife.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Right? And we're going to put another charge on you that's going to give you 20 years.
Right.
So you either plead guilty to this or you're screwed. You're done. I mean, this is what they did.
No,
this isn't a fiction. I'm telling you, this is what they were doing across the board.
Right, and
so it's important to get these things done. But there's one thing that's pivotal.
What's that?
There's one thing, only one thing that makes all the difference between basically life and death for America, and many of us, including the president.
What's that?
We we need to make sure the election in 2026 is fair.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to be fair if the machines are involved at all.
No.
We've got this guy, Leindecker, who now, with his company, bought Dominion Machines. Oh, that guy himself, he had a guy working for him, that he had to know about. Roky Solomon is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran the Russian election, the Afghanistan election, the Egyptian one, Mongolia, the USSR, Georgia, not our state of Georgia, Montenegro, and the Ukraine, which we know was fixed.
Right.
This guy is running around the world fixing elections. It's all part of the guy that just took over Dominion Machines.
Yeah, it's just too obvious. It's and I think the fact that it's being exposed is one of the big steps forward. And again, but you're going to have people that they're always they're going to shoot it down if you're not on the side that they want to win. And it's a matter of us just to expose it for everybody, which is difficult to do especially with the media that we have right now. But hopefully, we're only half a term, if not a little bit longer, into Donald Trump's first term. Hopefully over the next course of 3.5 years. A lot of this will come to light, and people will see just what's going on, and we can put an end to it. We're just about we're out of time for this segment. We didn't get into some of the stuff I wanted to talk about. Can I get you back here in the next week or so? We can pick up from where we left off.
Sure, I'd love to. Absolutely.
All right, Peter, I appreciate it very much, and we will pick up from there because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about the January 6th pardons and whatnot. So we'll look forward to the next time. Okay.
You got it.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Peter Ticktin, I tell you what. Well, when we come back, I am Todd Showalter along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. In the meantime, once again, I am Todd Showalter. This is The Right Mind Show.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, Naresh Vissa on the new American Civil War. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who's never been arrested for indecent exposure, but he does crank it in public whenever his show comes on so everyone can hear. Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. on The Right Mind Show. And now with this, somebody who hasn't been here in a while, Naresh Vissa. Naresh, how are you? There's a lot of stuff I wanted to touch base with you on. But first of all, how are you and how's everything going in your neck of the woods?
Everything is good down in Tampa, Florida, and there's a lot going on in Florida and around the world and within the United States.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a lot of things that you have on your topic list that the last time you were on, I only hit the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. But one thing that really caught my attention was the new American Civil War that you speak about. We're definitely at this time, I think, right as we speak, a spiritual war and a civil war here in America. What's your take on that? And what are your theories?
Well, I made up the term that we are in the new American Civil War 5 years ago. 5 years ago. So I can say 5 years later today, I actually don't think this Civil War is happening because I think one side is running away with it and the other side is losing badly. And what I mean by that is, as we saw in the last election, one side ran away with it. It was a mandate. And if we look at the purely based, I look at data. I'm a data guy. I'm a numbers guy. If we look at numbers since the election, if we look at numbers since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, if we look at numbers, expected numbers, and the numbers that are going to happen after this Voting Rights Act section most likely will be amended or maybe even abolished, where they remove minority districts. If we look at the numbers after gerrymandering is done across most of the states, not all 50 states are going to do it because they're gerrymandered as much as it can be. But after all of this is said and done, the right, the conservatives, the Republicans, they're running away in this so-called, if you want to call it a civil war, a cultural war, a political war. They are running away with it. And the election of Zohran Mamdani in New York City is going to be the direction that the Democrat Party is going to head, which is the direction of, hey, we need to go even more far left. We need to embrace socialism.
Yeah.
And as that continues to happen and we see more candidates like Mamdani, younger candidates like Mamdani embracing socialism, as that happens, I think we continue to see Republican numbers and registrations rise and rise. Nevada, for example, for the first time in more than 20 years, flipped Republican in the sense of voter registrations. Just a week or two ago, it flipped, and it's a commanding lead for Republicans. It's likely not going to flip back Democrats. Florida now has more than, I believe it's 1.3 million Republican registrations and Democratic registrations. So that's a deep red state. It's not just a red state anymore. It's a deep red state. And there are other states like Pennsylvania, like Ohio. Ohio just flipped a Democrat Senate seat to a Republican Senate seat, largely thanks to J.D. Vance and a few others. But we are seeing a wave, a huge red wave that did not end last November. It did not end. People thought that was the end last November. Just like in November 2016, people thought November 2016 was the end of the red wave, which it was. It was just a small little blip of a red wave when Trump got elected. But this time around, it's the first time in my lifetime. I'm 36 years old. This is the first time in my lifetime where Republicans are holding majorities everywhere, and there is momentum everywhere. And if you look at the current data right now, my crazy prediction is that New Jersey, it's not going to flip red, but New Jersey Republican registrations have skyrocketed since the election, and I think they're going to elect a Republican governor in 3 weeks, which is a huge deal for them because New Jersey is a deep blue state. And Virginia, I think they're going to certainly elect a Republican attorney general. They currently do have a very solid Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin, but he's not up for re-election. The governor race is a toss-up, but I think they'll certainly elect a Republican attorney general. So the point here is that there's one side that's running away within this battle or war, if you want to call it. And really, to drill down even more, there's only one side that knows how to fight, that's pro-Second Amendment, that knows how to use guns, that knows how to defend itself, that the Republican Party targets at gyms and football games, not at ballets and operas.
Right.
So there's only one side that's even ready to so-called fight, and I'm saying that there's not going to be fighting. It's not going to be that type of a civil war that we saw in the 1860s. But the new American Civil War that I envisioned ended up not really happening. It was actually more peaceful than I thought it would be, simply because the Republicans are running away with it, and it's because of policy.
Well, one thing I look at, and I agree with you, I think that we've got the momentum on the right side. One faction. Unfortunately, we have a media that plays on the left side, and optics are a big part of any type of war, whether it's a physical war, social war, whatever. And it seems to me, and correct me if you disagree, but you've got a lot of the loudmouths on the left, whether it's Jasmine Crockett, AOC, people like that the media pumps up and makes it projects that they're the voice and they're actually the dominant ones. How much, your opinion, so it seems... Obviously, we have the numbers on our side, but if you look at it from a media standpoint, they like to position it as if the left are really in control.
Well, I actually disagree with that. Here's why I disagree. They're called the fake news media for a reason. Right. And the mainstream, these are the lamestream. So they used to be mainstream. This is the lamestream fake news
I agree.
media. Uh-huh. And I call them that because they're not doing so well. If you look at the number, which are public, Comcast owns MSNBC, for example. Warner Brothers Discovery owns CNN, for example. I can keep going down the list. Mm-hmm. The Washington Post, New York Times, many of these organizations, there's publicly available data on their readership, their viewership, their listenership. And we saw last year, post-election, even around election time, many of these legacy outlets were not doing well. In fact, they're probably up for sale. There are rumors that MSNBC is up for sale because Comcast is not really a media company. They've always been a telecommunications company, and it's a loser for them.
Sure.
So the point that I'm making here is the media, and look, I think the media should be free to do whatever it wants. And in fact, the more left they get, I feel like it almost kind of helps the right, just like it helped Trump in 2016. Mm-hmm. But the media, I think, has actually slanted either more towards the center. You see CNN now, and you have people like Scott Jennings and other right-wing commentators. They never had that 4 years ago.
Right.
You look at MSNBC, they're still far left, but they've gotten rid of their most far, Mehdi Hassan and that one woman who they fired. I can't, her name, the fact that I don't even remember her name,
Joy Reid
says a lot.
Joy Reid. Right.
Joy Reid.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm making here is media today. It's not just mainstream fake news, legacy media, but you have to talk about social media. You need to talk about alternative media.
Sure.
And Joe Rogan beats all these. I mean, you combine all these outlets into one, and they still are smaller than Joe Rogan.
I agree.
And Joe Rogan is on the Republican. He's not even a Republican, but he's on the right wing side. He's just a common sense guy. So you look at podcasts like Theo Vaughn, like Joe Rogan. There's so many podcasts out there, and that's what Trump did a very good job, thanks to his son, thanks to his advisors. They said, hey, you can't just depend on MSNBC or Fox News anymore. And by the way, Fox News is still the number one rated cable network.
Right.
And that's been the case. There may have been a few months or a few weeks where it wasn't number one, but it's consistently in the top three.
Right.
And it spends time at number one more than ESPN, more than really any other cable network.
Well, I want to ask you one last question. We're just about out of time. You're in your 30s. You're a very knowledgeable guy. We talk about a lot of stuff. You, Naresh, do you have hope for the future?
I absolutely have hope. I think this country is heading in the right direction. My number one concern, we can talk about Charlie Kirk and we can talk about the new American Civil War, but the number one issue for Americans today and for the last 4-5 years, and the number one issue usually at the front of their mind is, can I afford stuff? It's groceries. And that's the issue that the administration needs to tackle. I think they're doing a good job so far. I think 20 years from now, 30 years from now, we're going to look back and we're going to see those tariffs were actually a really good idea because investment has been pouring into the country. And my kids, so many jobs are being created and will be created because of these tariffs, because of these companies opening up operations within the United States. This is all good. This is all, it's for our kids, at least my kids. Mm-hmm. It's for people's grandkids. I think this is all encouraging. And I think the government shutdown also is a good thing. The longer it goes on, the more inflation is going to go down because we want inflation to go down. Yes, there is going to be pain. Yes, there are going to be people who are not on the government dole who will get laid off. There are going to be people in the private sector who do get laid off, but inflation has been the number one issue for the last 4.5 years, and we need to keep it. We need to get it back to 2% because the Fed is on a cutting cycle. So it's good that the government is shut down. I think it's going to set a record for about 40 days, and then it's going to open back up, and hopefully inflation gets down to 2% within the next 4 to 5 months, mm-hmm. and we head into next summer with 2% inflation, with low interest rates, maybe record low interest rates, and things will be really, really, the sky is the limit. Things will be amazing, and we'll head in strong for the next decade or so.
Yeah, I totally agree. See, we're better off when they just stay home. We don't need all this big government. Just stay home. We don't need you.
Well, most people, I actually polled. I went to a party, 2 different parties, and we don't really talk politics, but, I threw some shade in there about the federal government being shut down. Most people don't even know that it's shut down. They have no idea.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, well, my kids go to school. And I'm like, yeah, the federal government doesn't handle that. The roads aren't. Yeah, the federal government doesn't hit. Like, they were just once they started saying all these things. Like, it's almost like they didn't believe me.
Right.
They were like, there's no way that the federal government shut down. I said, it's been 2 weeks.
I know. We're doing. Well, my friend, I appreciate you joining me. We always have a lot of stuff to talk about. I look forward to the next time because you got a long list of topics of things you like to discuss, and I enjoy discussing them with you. Will you come back and join me again soon?
Absolutely. Whenever you want.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Well, you take care. Well,
thank you.
Naresh Vissa, I tell you what, it's been a star-studded, packed show. I didn't get to use any of our catch terms, stay weird, who cares, or anything with the last 2 guests. But is anybody you want me to call back so you can just throw those in?
Let's call Gretchen Banger back.
Well, she's
never done that for us, but let's call her and see if we can motivate her to come on the show finally.
You think I had to get my hair done like her? I mean, you think the mullet is run its course and I should just get a Gretchen hairdo?
Yeah, I mean, Kara Spencer's doing it as well, So if you get the short and spiky look, you could be the next female leader of St. Louis.
I think I will do that. I think I'll do that. And you know what my slogan's going to be, don't you?
Stay weird.
Stay weird. Stay
Weird.
There you go. We got it. Would you have a good time today?
Wonderful time.
I had a really good time. Well, I guess I'll just sign off with, you know what I always say, don't you? Do you know what I always say?
See you at dinner, Joey.
Yeah, you coming over for dinner tonight. Hey, bring the omelets.
Let's talk about new stuff.
Yeah, talk about news
at dinner.
Yeah, no, it's like, we just basically talk about how great we are, and we have our wives give us back rubs, even though yours is a girlfriend.
You know, we take a picture every week for the show.
Yeah, we do.
And it's usually just around the studio and
Yep.
the surrounding Westport, Maryland Heights area. But now we can do more domicile type pictures.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I could be in the washing machine poking my head out, and you could be pouring detergent on it.
Can I be smoking a pipe?
Of course.
Not like a bong pipe, but just maybe like a pipe, like an old dad would smoke, and I'll put it on the cardigan. I'll get in the washing machine, stick my head out with a pipe, and you can pour detergent on it, and you can come up with a really catchy slogan.
Or I could be scooping out Dukes from the sink from Special Ed the Cat, who just keeps missing that litter box. Just a little outside, R.I.P. Euchre.
I was not allowed to show you these pictures, but I did. Am I making this up? We got talking about Ed the Cat, and wow, he misses the litter box he hits the sink. I don't know how he hits the sink. I'm not going to, but I took pictures, my utter shock, and my wife is, don't show anybody those. And I said, I got to show you, and I'm sure that you now have that photo, and you'll share it with everybody, correct? Well, hey, you know what I always say, don't you?
What do you say?
You don't have a right mind. You don't have a mind at all. Until next time, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. Till next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to toddsprod.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at newstalkstl.com.